Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to be here today with our partner, Valorem Reply, to talk about from gaming to streaming, AI applications for media and entertainment. My name's Taylor O'Malley. I'm Director of Go-to-Market for Sports Media and Gaming at Microsoft.
My name's Kason Carter. I'm a client partner at Valorem Reply. We are a Microsoft innovation-focused partner, so we're here to show you some AI tools that we've built.
So we're going to start by kicking off talking about a solution that we have been working on for optimizing insights for gaming operations. And we're going to talk about how that same frame can be applied to media and entertainment. And then we'll spend the majority of the time going through a demo of the solution that has been developed. So quickly, just talking about gaming and entertainment. While these are very different modalities of entertainment, they have a lot of shared challenges. So on the gaming side, there are a lot of live engagement signals. There is continuous retention pressure. And on the media side, you have fragmented audience signals, content saturation, and really hit-driven performance. But the part that's really interesting, and I think will resonate with the demo we'll show today, is this space that exists in the middle. Across all forms of entertainment, we have a lot of different data sources that give us signals, and it can be really challenging to interpret those signals and make decisions on what's the next best action that we need to take. And that's the space where we believe there is a really big opportunity at play. How do we take signals and turn them into insights that are grounded in business goals and hypotheses and understand how to find the next best action? And so with that, I will hand it over for the demo.
Thank you. Okay, so before we hop in, thank you, Taylor. And I want to ground us to a very simple frame. Because when AI gets complicated, it stops being useful. Across industries, the teams making progress aren't chasing models or copilots. They're focusing on two things. First, data and AI, and then also tools and AI. The system is designed to move teams out of reactive analysis mode and into intentional action. Think of this as an engagement control room. Not a reporting layer, but an end-to-end system that moves from signals to decisions. Built on Fabric and Foundry and Copilot, it continuously scans engagements, signals, and connects what matters. It also tracks surface patterns you wouldn't think to look for if you're looking manually. So we'll keep this short. The thing to watch for isn't features, it's how quickly we move from an objective to a short list of things worth paying attention to.
Hi, welcome to the Agentic Gaming Intelligence Foundry. So just to ground everyone, what you're seeing here is a dashboard that shows our fully agentic system that works across all of the gaming telemetry a game studio may have. And that could be sentiment analytics, it could be in-game telemetry, it could be inter-game conversations and matches, it could be feedback, support tickets, and also downloadable content acquisition. So what we're looking at on the left-hand side is the chat window, the ability for the user to interact with the AI agent. And before I do that, I want to first tell the AI what my role is, because it's very easy for AI to look at data and derive something way more deeply than any human ever could. But the important thing is I want to tell it what my job function is. So in this example, my goal is to increase revenue by 35%. Optimistic? Sure, but let's go with it. So now when the AI looks at the data, it tries to find things that can increase revenue. You could be looking at subscription increase, reduction in churn, maybe deeply engaging users more, or focusing on one particular game. But whatever the role is, you would specify it there. It could be a single role function. It could be a bunch of KPIs, whatever it is, you can set it. And now I'm going to click one of the prefabricated prompts. But obviously, that is taking a preconceived notion into this, but I want to just set the stage a little bit. So what's happening behind the scenes? So first of all, I ask the question. The orchestrator first understands the question. And this is all real. These are all Foundry agents. And the orchestrator agent will go and assemble its team of agents to go and deliver on what it's been asked to do. So the SQL agent will go and look at the last 30 days, and then the Fabric agent has access to all the Fabric data more broadly across the whole of the fiscal year. and it will be able to pull some key information, summarize it, and then if an insight is identified, it will alert me by adding an insight agent, and it will add a widget agent, and then it will show me in the dashboard. So these agents are assembled as part of the group chat, which is part of the Microsoft Agentic framework that was released last year, and provide some really interesting power in that instead of it being a singular thread where an agent passes off something to another agent or something, you can create these group chats, which are very, very powerful. So here you can see a insight into what's going on. Game A, the portfolio top revenue generator, has experienced a catastrophic decline in DAO. Okay, so let's go and have a look at what that looks like. So there we go, we can pull that up. Another widget at the bottom. So now let's go and have a look at insights. Now, these don't have to be run manually from questions. Every morning, the insight agent will go off and query the Fabric data agent in the backend. And it will come back with anything that's above about a 75% confidence score for me to go and investigate. Think of these as like threads to pull on. I may not necessarily have looked here before, but in this example, I'm going to go and investigate further and just see, the insight is essentially a anomalous or a interesting or a spike in data that shows some level of correlation, but it does not yet show causation necessarily. So we need to go and prove that. So what we can do is we can essentially test a hypothesis. So let's take this one, Game C Resilience. Game C is the only game maintaining Q4 performance levels. Okay, so what should we do? Well, let's try and reverse engineer Game C's success and then go and apply those learnings to games A, B, and D. So let's see what we should specifically do. Increase Game C's marketing budget by 30% to capture displaced users from falling games. So there's a bunch of things we can do. We go and test the hypothesis. So I can create a control group and a similar test group, and I can adjust the size of that, and I can go and build this hypothesis. And what this is doing is spinning up an ephemeral agent in Foundry called the hypothesis agent. And it effectively watches the data to see when I do the task or complete the thing and see what the results are and report back. I'm going to cancel out of this because I want to show you the hypothesis agents up the top here. So you can see a bunch of hypotheses are running at this time. And so here we can see what's going on. It goes back 4 or 5 days so it can track. That's where it noticed the spike, and then it's tracking at this point. Now, what I think is worth noting here is all we're doing is just watching the data. And you'll notice that this is all synthetically generated data, so this isn't a live environment, but the agents are real, the AI is real, the data is real. What we don't have access to, though, is the ability to go and take action. So what we talk about Valorem Reply is simplifying our AI strategy to be, just 2 things. Put AI on our data so we understand it, which is what we've shown you so far. And then we put AI on our tools so we can take action. Now that part is a little bit harder to show in a live environment, but effectively, if one of the things was to send an email or run a marketing campaign or run an e-commerce discount on our downloadable content, then the MCP servers and the agents could then leverage those MCP servers and or agent-to-agent interactions via the Microsoft Agentic framework, and then communicate with another agent to go and run that discount for 5% of the user base that lines up with the 5% of the user base we're watching here, and go and give them a promo, 50% off their second skin, and then essentially would then send them an email to let them know about it. And then we would watch, the hypothesis agent would watch and then report back. So effectively, I've gone from running one hypothesis or managing 1 or 2 things to being able to go and look at multiple different things and seeing and testing theories to see if these threads that we're pulling on actually have viable business opportunity behind them. And then I can go and take that next best action and roll it out across my whole company. Well, thank you for your time. And if you have any more questions, we'd love to hear them, and especially come and show you a demo live. Thank you.
So, what you've just seen isn't more alerts or dashboards. It's real-time understanding of what's happening and what's worth acting on. This is organizational AI working the way teams actually work. Focused, iterative, and human-led.
So there's so much that you can do with this solution. We wanted to show you today, as we mentioned, in the scope of gaming, where we're really grounded in what is the business goal that we're looking to solve, and can we look over this data and understand some potential next best actions. But as you can imagine, this can be applied across a variety of different scenarios in the media and entertainment space. So please feel free to come up and chat with us, ask us questions, and if you have any opportunities you want to explore, we're happy to chat about it. Thank you.